Welcome to the Road 26 podcast. Hotz Heads, Streamers, Sixers. We're back for another episode. Hotz is getting himself settled in here. So I thought we would kick it off with a little 96 Knicks by World's Fair, Queen's Own.
I'm gay!
Shout out Remy Banks, Queen's native. That's a fucking Knicks. Finally.
Good.
Or quarter, just do it. As fucking World's Fair would say, baby.
This episode's getting taken down. Copyright.
Yep, immediately. Don't care. Nah, that song is off a mixtape, excuse me. Free mixtape, so we ain't robbing out here. We ain't robbing nobody. But shouts out to World's Fair. Shouts out to Queen's Own. Hopefully they understand why we're playing the 96 Knicks today after the Knicks backed their asses up into a victory yesterday. Not sure exactly what happened in that game, to be honest. Still kind of coming down off of that. Easily the ugliest Knick win in Knick history, or one of them. I don't even know what to say. But we're here. 2-1. Took the momentum back, put some pressure back on the Pacers. Felt like we got one back after game one, giving one away. So it's like 20-point lead on one end, 20-point lead on the other end. Game two was really a legit game, so I expect game four to be similar to game two, a legit war. And that will be it. 3-1, 2-2. Pack your bags if it's 3-1. But 2-2, then we're just getting started, I think. So, John, we'd love to hear your unbridled feedback about the game yesterday, as well as where you think this series kind of sits right now.
I was definitely sauced up. I was with the family yesterday, Memorial Day weekend, down at the beach, down at the shore. I don't have the clearest cut recollection of the game.
You weren't celebrating Dominican Mother's Day, John? What are you talking about?
What'd you say?
That's what Karl Anthony Towns was talking about. Apparently on Sunday was Dominican Mother's Day, like their own Mother's Day, apparently off the U.S. calendar or something that no one was aware of.
Bro was fucking from New Jersey. Tell him to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no one even knew that. For the record, he's like, yeah, shout out to my mom, Dominican Mother's Day. It was just like. Yeah,
well, I think his mom passed away. To be fair, maybe I should have.
Oh yeah, that's true. That happened this year. Good call.
Yeah,
shouts out to Karl then for that.
Yeah. Shout out to his mom, but it's Memorial Day weekend, and I was down the shore. We were crabbing off the dock. Fucking Maya doesn't give a fuck.
Here you go, Maya. Let him know. Let him know. We're on the pod. Let him know.
Yeah. Fucking little fucking rat.
She's hype. Got a dub. Look at that. That's the angle I like. That's when the Knicks
get a dub. That's the fucking belly rub.
Yeah. That looks like Tyrese Halliburton right there.
Looks like Tyrese Halliburton's dad.
Yeah, in the fetal position, exactly.
Fucking dead. They battled back. They did what they had to do. The Knicks in this playoffs, and I guess the Pacers too in this playoffs, besides the utter blowouts that they've had, they've been coming back. I want to say that the Pacers can't keep pulling the rabbits out of the hat like they did in game one and game two, and like they did against the Cavaliers in that series. It's literally they've been down 7 with 30 seconds left in one. They've been down 5 with 20 seconds left in one. They've been down 8 with 40 seconds left in one. They can't keep doing that, but then again, they keep doing that. So it's you need to really you need to be up 20 with 2 minutes left to feel confident. Really when does the exception become the rule? When do we arrive at the point? When is Patrick Mahomes throwing off schedule part of his shtick, and it's not just some bullshit throw that he makes every now and then, and it actually is part of his resume? When do we cross over the line from Indiana's doing something crazy to this is literally what their MO is? Yeah, and especially like I said, the Knicks are kind of doing it too. They have 3 playoff wins where they were down 20. In the game already. So it's all right, we could say the same thing about the Knicks, What are we, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So hopefully game 4 maybe breaks that a little bit, and it's all right, the Knicks can just get a big win and hold it, and we return to normalcy a little bit. But I think that the Knicks are kind of in a good spot right now. The difference between 2-1 and 3-0 is obviously as massive as a gap you could possibly find, because 2-1 is as close as a 3-game series can be. You know, one team's going to be up 2-1. So you can't be any closer in a 3-game series after 3 games than 2-1.
You're going to be on one side or the other of that coin, no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. So for them to fight back and win that game obviously means the world. I think it does take a little wind out of the Pacers' sails. And I do think that the Knicks, for whatever reason, are road warriors. And, you know, the Pacers are also 6-1 on the road in this playoff. But the next game, the pivotal game, is on the road again. And in this series, I tend to say advantage road team. Obviously, the Knicks are going to have to win one at home to win the series because they have home court advantage from being the 3 seed. But
they have the biggest problem doing. Playing in the Garden is not to their advantage anymore. We've arrived there too.
Well, it just seems like everyone wants to show out in the Garden, opposing players, you know, like in front of the Starlets and the Harlots and the fucking Barlets or whatever.
Everyone's biggest moment in their whole life.
Yeah, so it's obviously a monster series for the Pacers to kind of get their names out there. Neesmith, I think every New Yorker will know Aaron Neesmith's name forever now after that game 1, you know.
Which in turn is the basketball universe. So that means everyone in the basketball universe, in theory, will know Aaron Neesmith's name because 12 million or whatever, 10 million Knicks fans or 8 million Knicks fans in the
No, you could probably more because, you know, there's no Jersey team anymore.
The impact
Let me get this fucking bitch a bone real quick because she's pissing me off.
No, do your thing. What I was going to say also is I was going to also ask you, but I want to think about also in terms of Tibbs. How is he going to use DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet, and McBride when Brunson's not in foul trouble and when Towns is not in foul trouble? But they need a spark and the team is still not playing well. And Mikal, let's say, is not hitting his shots and he's like Mikal is the biggest faker. I don't even know how to size him up because if you look at his box score, usually he's efficient, as Eddie said, but it's a liar in a lot of ways because some of those baskets, you know, he has the most unopportune 20 points every game. It's like it feels like it's zero impact the way he scores. But I will say this about Tibbs. I'm proud of him for just doing what had to be done there and not just playing like Precious Achiuwa and folding or just giving up the game and being like, listen, this is where we're at. We have nobody left. Everyone's in foul trouble. I'm not going to play anyone or I'm just going to play these guys with 4 fouls or 5 fouls. He sat Brunson all the way to the 2-minute mark. I said this on the chat. I saw what he said in the post game where he saw that Bridges foul late where Bridges did not foul Halliburton. It was the dumbest ticky-tack call. And he was afraid of Brunson getting one of those and fouling out. And then they wouldn't have our closer. And he was right. And Brunson ended up being our closer by hitting those free throws, hitting that floater against the grain, going right, which was filthy. And, you know, being the guy that ended the game for us. So we needed every one of Brunson's points at the end of the game, as bad as he was for 3.5 quarters. Or 3 quarters in fucking 9 minutes, probably. So, you know.
Well, that's basketball, you know. At the end of the day, that's all.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, go ahead, bro. But I want to hear your thoughts about how DeLon Wright and some of these guys will fuse into the team possibly, even without the foul trouble being the excuse for Tibbs to basically be like, I have no other options.
Yeah, I mean, well, the one thing I'll say is like Tibbs did, I think, like I said, take chances, you know, with foul trouble and just mixing it up and doing stuff differently, getting more guys involved, and just getting reps for some of those guys. And like you said, Brunson not playing his best, changing it up, trying new things. I wish he did more of it leading up to this, so it's not so experimental in big moments. But he's obviously not married to just playing the same 7 guys the whole series, and you know, getting away from campaign a little bit. And I think that this series, like, you need to be like the nastier, grittier team here. Hicks versus the Knicks. We're getting this back to like 90s basketball. And, you know, it's not the era of the big 3 anymore. It's not just about being flashy and having stars. Like the NBA is vastly different than it was 10 years ago. Like, you need a full team game. And in terms of the foul trouble, I will say, like, Towns needs to clean that up. But at the same time, I think they need to mix up the lineups a little bit. Like, Towns and Mitch should be on the floor together more. The plus-minus when they're on the floor together is exceptionally advantageous to the Knicks. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I know that they were plus 12 in a single game, plus 9 in another game, and then last night I don't know the numbers, but like when they're on the floor together, it's problematic on both ends for the Pacers because offensively, the Knicks have the height advantage, and then defensively, they also have Mitch on the floor, making all the difference with the hustle plays, with the rebounding,
on the checking out shots, the length.
So I just think they have mismatches on both sides when both those guys are in. And I think the sacrificial lamb in terms of the lineup rotation has to be Josh Hart. And I don't think Josh Hart shouldn't play. Josh Hart is right up there with Bridges and Brunson playing, 42 minutes. We saw last year.
You should. You see how important he is at the end of the game.
He would play the whole game, but I think if you even cut him down to 38 to 36 minutes and got more time.
I agree.
You get more time with McBride hitting those big shots at the end of the third to really get them close.
I think it works both ways, John. I think you're going to get so much out of it by cutting his minutes a little bit there. And I
think McBride and Mitch need a little more time. And I know Mitch with the free throws is a liability, but at some point it's live and die with it. If he misses them, you got to live with it. He makes them.
Even really go to the line,
it's not as prominent as the Boston series when they were clearly fouling you. But if they do start to, it's he's going to make them or he's going to miss them, and you live with you have to just kind of be okay.
It also didn't work. It fucked Boston in that game when he got them basically to the brink of foul trouble for their team. That team fouls. We talked about that, and essentially they fouled Mitch to the point of not being in the bonus, and then one more foul happened, and they were in the bonus the rest of that quarter. They fucked themselves.
And they won the series in 6 at the end of the day. They easily won the series where they were trying to hack Mitch. So I think that this series is going to go 7. I think that the Knicks are going to win Game 4. I think that that the Pacers will win one more. The Knicks will win more. I think this is getting to 7 games. These teams are so evenly matched. And I guess the one thing that's the big question mark is Neesmith's ankle. I mean, if he's not playing or not 100% or has a little hitch in his giddy up.
He came back in the same game. I'm in the boat of he'll be fine.
But also, if he's hurt, if he's slowed down. I mean, obviously, I don't think Game 1 will ever happen again, where he's 5 for 5 from 3 in the fourth quarter.
He did that game yesterday, dude. He was he had that floater on the one side, and then the other side, he tried to challenge OG, and OG punched his shit into.
Well, that's what I mean. If he's limited because of that ankle, where he's hampered, and now since that, like you said, he came back in the game, and since he came back in the game, didn't look like he had any legs or any. Facts. Any giddy up, like I said.
Deep. Ben Shepherd banging threes. This guy's a lurch. These motherfuckers, dude. And McConnell, bro. This guy, man,
yeah, I mean, they got a good team. It's a good team versus a good team. I think the Knicks, on paper, might have slightly more, firepower, if you will. But I think that the Pacers are a good team and they're playing good, and that.
Obi had some dunks in that game. That one that he caught right here, that was nuts. That was crazy.
Yeah, former Nick, going at him.
Got drafted before Halliburton, for those of you.
Crazy. But yeah, no, it's a good series. I think, then I'm glad the Knicks won 3-0. Even if they get down 3-1, I don't think the series is over. But I do think that it's obviously a pivotal game, and that I think they need to at least, even if it ends all these games have been close. You know what I mean? It's a close. I said,
close. Yeah, it's still a 20-point match on either side, but it always circles. It always gets down to the same spot.
It's been 3 super close games. I could have been either way. Like I said, 2-1, a 3-game series. The closest it could be is 2-1, and the margin of victory for each team has been close every game. This is a great series.
It's a great series considering everything. They could have easily been down 3-0. We could have been up 2-1. We could have been up 3-0. I think all things are in play. It's the dumbest series, as watching as a Knicks fan, because it's so fucking painful as usual.
Game 2 was the only game where, it was.
Yeah, that's Pacers. They really just had control of the game for most of the game. Yeah. And even when we made our run, we got within 1 at the end of that game. You never really felt like we were in the driver's seat. Game 1.
Like I said, they were all close games at the end of the day. I'm just saying that was the one that had a little bit of more of a conventional.
Game 1, someone sat on the driver's seat's lap and literally just drove the car for him. Was nope, this is ours now.
Yeah, Neesmith, that was crazy. I mean, the crazy part of Game 1 that I think about is Halliburton did the choke, and maybe he did it thinking that his foot was not on the line. Right. But it's if he does that choke and then they go to overtime and lose, Like,
Or if OG
time.
makes both free throws and they were up by 3.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, he did the choke, like, already. Like, you know.
I know. I think about the
you
free
do
throws.
the choke and then lose in overtime.
I know. I was thinking about all the scenarios all night. I couldn't sleep, dude. All the scenarios were going through my brain all night.
But I'm saying if OG makes the free throw, when he hits it, even if he thinks that it's a 3, he's not going to do the choke because he knows there's overtime to come. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I guess that's fair.
Like, I think he did the choke.
Maybe he would, though, still in theory, because they choked the lead, and like maybe it would just come over him. You never know.
Still, you don't want to do that before you win the game. You know, I think he thought they won, and that's why he did the choke thing. But either way, you know, as everyone's talked about already, when Reggie Miller did that in the 90s, the Knicks won that series. You know, we'll see what happens. There's a lot going on. It's a great series. And on the other side, it's kind of like, again, 2-1 is as close as a series can get. But then again, each team has won by like an astronomical amount of points each game.
I don't know how to make the series, the game that's later today in a couple hours, Minnesota and OKC. Shouts out to Shai for winning the MVP. I mean, he definitely earned it. Obviously, Jokic is the best player in the world. I think if you don't say that, then you're a crazy person. But I think for this season and what OKC accomplished as a team, and Shai being the leader and the head of the snake of that, definitely. I think it's, you know, kudos to him. I like Shai also as like a person, like one of the players in the league, one of the elder statesmen of the league. Like, I like him. So shouts out to SGA.
Elder statesman, he's like 25.
I just mean like one of the pillars of the league. Oh, you know what I mean? I like him as a leader of the league. He's cool.
Yeah, no, he's a good player. I think
he's a good dude. I like it
before. It's like, you know, like the, you know, how like obviously they got blown out the first 2 games, and then Timberwolves win by 42, the biggest loss that OKC has taken all year, playoffs or regular season. I do think that, like, we talk about the Road Warriors and the Knicks and the Pacers. On the other side, it's like these younger teams are thriving at home. You know, like this is totally different. Minnesota was a bet your life kind of game 3 that like they were going to win. You know, like, and they obviously
that's crazy.
You know, and then we'll see, you know, what happens in game 4. But I like Minnesota again tonight to even up this series and get it, you know, knotted up going back to OKC, just because, like I said, I think the home feel in this series it's the opposite of the Knicks Pacers. Like, whoever's at home doesn't feel the pressure. They feel like, all right, we're here, we're with our fans. I think OKC's home court advantage is you know, undersold. You know, they all wear the same fucking T-shirts every game. Every game's like a white out or a blue out or a gray out or whatever. You know, they are deeply
role players. Wiggins and Isaiah Joe and those guys, they play much better at home. Lou Dort shoots the 3 at home like crazy percentage better than on the road. It's something crazy. It's
and I just think their fans are starved. You know, they don't have professional football, professional baseball, professional hockey. Like, this is their team. This is what they rally around. And the Timberwolves, you know, they're a franchise who've always kind of been on the precipice, but never really getting there, you know, and obviously had some tough years too. But like at home, they have a good home court advantage too. Minnesota's Minneapolis, St. Paul, Twin Cities, great sports
that area. Was a Twins Vikings town for a long ass time. Still has been. Like, you talk about a lot of good teams on both those for both those teams, you know. So, and you think about only the KG teams really making noise for the Timberwolves that I can remember.
Well, up until last year,
obviously without the recent,
Twins and Vikings. You know, Twins won, I think, in '90. Vikings have never won a Super Bowl. The Minnesota Wild have only been around since the early 2000s, I want to say. So they have one championship in, you know, whatever their history.
Star fan base, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, they're starved also, and they've been around a long time. So it's like one city's just starved for sports in general on the professional level. Obviously,
think about the Met Nick fan, bro. Think about the Met Nick fan, bro.
Yeah, Mets, Knicks, and Jets. There's a lot of Mets, Knicks, Jets, Islanders.
Yeah, that's my dad. The Rangers, not the Islanders.
But yeah, there's a lot of Mets, Knicks, Jets, Islanders fans. There's a lot, you know, there's a lot of people like that. But in terms of Minnesota,
Mets and Knicks, that's a lot of right there getting super close and not finishing the job years that are painful. Tons.
Yeah. And obviously the Twins have, you know, made a ton of playoffs and only, like I said, won 1990 versus the Braves, Jack Morris versus John Smoltz, that famous, you know, pitcher's duel.
Yeah.
Great names. You know, so basically 1990 if you're a Timberwolves, Vikings, Wild, Twins fan, is very similar to the 1986 for the Mets. If you're an Islanders, Mets, Knicks, Jets fans, obviously the Islanders in the early '80s, I believe, had some titles, if I'm not mistaken. They had a little dynasty there
before. It sounds so familiar. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't. I've been there a couple times. I remember looking at those banners.
Yeah, no, I want to say they won like maybe even like
sat in the rafters.
2 to 4. Like they had a dynasty, I think, at one point. The Islanders in the early '80s.
This was at Nassau, also that dump.
What did you say?
I don't know. That I said that was at Nassau, out in that dump in their stadium.
Nassau Coliseum.
Nassau Coliseum. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up real quick. But yeah, I mean, in terms, what do you think is like the key? Obviously, we talked about like home court. Julius Randle was good in game 1, then had 6 points in game 2.
Yeah.
Game 3,
kind of disappear on the team a little bit, and I think he's such a talented scorer. I feel like he could offer a lot more on offense, and it kind of just gets to him when it gets to him based on his personality. And Jalen is really the number 2 option, but I think sometimes they got to feature Chet as the second option more, and that's something I was noticing a little bit because Julius is really not an incredible defender, and you can get him into foul trouble, and he's sloppy sometimes with the fouling like Towns is. They're similar in that way. I think Julius has played a lot better on defense than I expected. I think Finch has done a great job with whatever the coaching has been going on there, but all year he's been a lot better on the defensive end. But I would still try to challenge that a little bit more and try to get him into foul trouble. That's the way you knock off Julius. You get the refs in his face, some bad calls against him. You get Julius off his game quickly. That's the guy that you can eliminate early in the game is the kind of way I would look at that. Like he's a kind of head case like that sometimes. So, especially with his offense, but Ant is unbelievable. Some of those shots that he was making were over 3 people, and there were guys open, and he didn't matter, and he was banging them, and it was like him in the rim. So when he gets into that mode, I think he's better than SGA. Like I think we have to have that conversation at some point here. Like I'm like right there. I'm really close to saying it. Like it's so close. It is so close. Ant is.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have to go SGA there, but I think that Ant might be like more entertaining and more exciting. Like I prefer Ant Edwards. Like
at a higher clip. I don't know.
If I had to buy a jersey, I don't know the whole threat. I know that's if he does, it's like the only shooting stat that he has over him because SGA is like 50% from the field, the point guard,
like 20 feet or something stupid.
Yeah, he's like a 50% from the field guy as a guard, which is unheard of in this day and age. He's not a 3-point shooter, SGA. So it's like
right.
Obviously Edwards.
That's just a tact accolade for Ant. That's not a neg on SGA. And SGA can hit threes when he's open, for the record.
Yeah. But, the Islanders won 4 Stanley Cups from 79-80 to 82-83.
Damn.
So that was like that little dynasty that I remembered. But, this series, I think that obviously it's a lot of emergence of new guys. I like the Chet Holmgren shout. He's going to have to kind of get a little better, play a little tougher, for them to kind of get over the hump. Like you mentioned earlier, the role players like Lou Dort, who's an amazing defender, but when he's hitting his open shots, makes all the difference in the world. Arizona State product, fucking Lou Gens Dort. And then his dad was Lou French Dort.
That's crazy. I did not know that. I was just looking here, dude. 7 attempts for Chet in last game. He only had 10 points. He went 3 for 7. That's just too low. He had 22 the game before. 10 points.
Yeah. I think once they went down, they kind of packed it in too. Like we see, we've been seeing.
It still feels low. I don't know.
Like we've been seeing in the East, it's like we don't see, like teams in the West are still giving up when they go down big. In the East, it's like the game's never fucking over. So. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, tonight, if OKC could take care of business, go up 3-1, it's a massive advantage.
Tags at that point.
Yeah, especially going back to OKC. It's a great series. I think that the Ant Edwards over SGA take might be a little premature, maybe a little responsive to the last game.
It's super close.
It's close, yeah. They're both top 5 guys.
I got the stats. So 46.7% for SGA. 46.1% for Ant from 3. Ant is 38. Shy is 29%. Free throw is 85 for Shy. Free throw for Ant is 72. Ouch, that's bad. Rebounds is 8 for Ant. Rebounds for Shy is 5. Assists for Shy is 6. I would expect Ant's to be like 3.
And I'm guessing you're looking at playoffs.
Ants is 5. Yeah, this is like so. There, I assume this is playoffs because it's in this app. If you look here, and it's like a matchup between the two of them in the matchup. So
I know. SGA shot well over 50% on the season.
Yeah, this might not be full regular season. This is just like I think in this series so far.
Yeah. But SGA on the year, I just pulled it up. He shot 52%.
On the year. Hold on, let me pull up Ant then.
Okay, so from the field on the year, he shot 52%, 0.519.
Wow.
He shot 37.5% from 3, hitting 2.1 out of 5.7 per game. And then from the free throw line, he was 90%, 0.898, 7.9 out of 8.8 free throw attempts.
Wow. So Anthony Edwards for the regular season per game, regular season averages 44% from the field. Wow, almost 40% from 3, 395. That's very impressive.
39.5%. That's very good.
Yeah, and he led the league in most made threes with 304.
He was like up and like the most all time, like behind all the guys.
Play record. I remember reading about that. And then free throw percentage, he was at 83. I'm glad we said this because we said 72 for the series. That's fucking horrible. But he's actually for the season 0.837, so almost 83%. I'd say. Rebounds only 4.9, assists 4.5, steals 1.
Yeah, he's 5, and he's SGA is 5 rebounds, 6.4 assists, 1.7 steals, 1 block. I mean, 32.7 points a game, led the NBA.
He's not in every category, but 3-point percentage. That's it.
Yeah, and he shot better and more threes than I actually even thought. He went up a lot this year.
What was his full percentage on threes?
37.5, 0.375.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah,
that's if he's wide open, he's gonna make it. Dude.
He shot 5.7 threes a game this year too. I thought that'd be lower, 2.1. He only shot 3.6 threes a game last year.
He improved
a lot more.
I would expect it to continue to go up.
Yeah, but shooting, and last year he shot from the field as a guard 0.535, was making 10.6.
Yeah.
Shots out of 19.8.
Yeah, and maybe that was the year I was remembering that there was like some crazy stat where he was like 55% from 20 feet and in. Something stupid. Or like 15 and in.
He's a career, for over a 7-year career, over 50% shooter, 0.501. That's crazy.
Jumper is up there. Top 5 maybe ever. It's up there.
Over the last 3 years, it's like around 520.
It's crazy.
Crazy, probably higher than that because he had more attempts this year. Right around 520, which is just insane for a guard. 52%, crazy efficiency. And again, led the NBA in scoring this year. He's been over 30 points per game now 3 years in a row. Just doing ridiculous things. I mean, no hate on Ant.
It's not like he does it despite the success. This team is number 1 by far. The best team. That's the other plus on the other side of this being the best player and scoring the most points. He's also the efficiency leads to the best team,
Yeah, and the team is good. Like I'm not trying to take away from the other players on the team, but it's not like they have other guys there that are
what? No.
There's
a good team. Yeah.
There's nobody on
Wash them.
There's nobody on the Thunder that's as good as like Rudy Gobert, who's like the second best guy on, Minnesota.
I'd say Jalen Williams is better than Rudy.
I don't know. Has he ever made an All-Star team?
I mean, I'm just saying if I'm taking one player at this very moment, I'm taking Jalen Williams.
Over Rudy Gobert, the only 4-time defensive player of the year.
He's more on the court than Chet, and he's more experienced and more effective on the defensive end. I'm not taking Chet over Rudy for sure. That's egregious, but I would talk about Jalen for sure. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's a good player. I'm saying I would have that conversation. I'm not saying you're wrong or right. I'm just
That would be
There's a lot more Jalen Williamses in the world than there are Rudy Gobert.
Sure. But I'm saying in a box right now for just picking a guy, I don't know.
Yeah.
What do I need? What do I need? They're different guys. I would say that too.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, and Rudy is like, I'm saying not for like the rest of I'm not saying to take for the next 5 years. I'm saying
imminent future. Yeah.
No, I'm saying for like this playoffs, like for the rest of these playoffs, I'd rather have Rudy Gobert than Jalen Williams for sure.
On the Knicks, yeah. Because we don't need any more Jalen Williamses. We definitely could use a Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, like I said, I think his skill set is a lot more specialized, and
he's a rare guy. He's a rare guy.
And he could provide a lot more mismatches,
What's his free throws percentage wise? Is it high? That would be the one thing. I feel like it should be because he's a European player, and it would be.
I think he's like in the
he breaks them
60s or 70s, maybe or 70s. I think he's a big man still at the end of the day.
I know, but these Europeans sometimes they just be banging them. Yeah, he's in the high 60s.
But he's not like a shooter big man,
I know, yeah, that's true. That's true.
He's not like a stretch big. He's a throwback.
His rebounds every year.
I don't think like Jay Williams is a good player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a hater, but he's like what is he like 25 and 4 or something like that? Like 20 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Like I said, he's like more of a dime a dozen guy. Yeah, I got a beer mustache.
You got a little beer on you. What's it called? Yeah, he's a dime a dozen. I don't think that's fair. I think he's.
I didn't say dime a dozen. I just think there's like a lot more. 25 and 5. Like you could find that off the street.
He's a good player. Yeah. I think they're both. I think Rudy's way better and specialized, like you said, at his position than Jalen is at his position. There's a lot more guys that do what Jalen does in the league than what Rudy does. I think all those takes are good. I think in terms of taking one guy or the other, I think Jalen is good enough to decide it has to be based on what your team needs. And it's not just overall consensus of being an incredible player that automatically I'm taking Rudy. He's not that far.
If your team needs a Jalen Williams, there's more of them to get.
Right. But I'm just saying, if I was just choosing from a litter, Rudy's not so far away that I'm just going to be like, yeah, it doesn't matter who this guy is. I'm taking that guy. Like Rudy and Jalen, if my team needed a forward.
That's fair. All right, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
25 and 4.
You need like a guy that gets you 25 and like 5 assists and can take some pressure off of your main scorer and like.
Yeah, I'm saying like and I'm saying like when I say 25 and 5, I mean 20 and 5 and 5. Like I think he's like 20 points.
Oh, yeah,
5.
Good. Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, sure. And every now and then he might have a great scoring game to 30 points. Sometimes he'll.
Yeah, of course. I mean, any 20-point scorer is going to have 30-point games.
Down 10 points.
I'm just saying, like he doesn't just score and get rebounds or just score and get assists. He does a little bit of everything. Like,
exactly. He's a nice player, and he doesn't require the ball to be effective on the court. I feel like too. He'll just stay in rhythm and keep in the flow of the game. So he's not like a hothead. I don't know.
But no, to your credit, like I
don't as players though, like you said,
just
Rudy.
Because there's other guys who can do what he does doesn't mean that he's not good or he's not
right. I think what the specialized portion of what you said takes the cake for everything is that like there's just a lot less guys that do what Rudy does.
Yeah, and Rudy can explode for like we saw in the first series against
like 20-something rebounds and 27 points or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. I don't know who that was against. I'm trying to think. What was that against the Lakers?
Maybe it's the Lakers.
Yeah, against the Lakers. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, because the Lakers have no center, so
put him in the nursery. Yeah.
But I guess we should talk a little bit about the NHL. The Panthers are already up 3-0.
No, and Connor McDavid going wild. Jeez, man, Oilers.
Yeah, it looks like we could be having another crash course of Edmonton, Florida 2.0, like we saw last year in the Stanley Cup Finals. I just want to say, like. Obviously not the biggest hockey heads. I'm not going to sit here and try to, claim that I know, puck like the real puck heads of the world. But
right.
I will say that Marchand trade,
Florida
giving him fucking the Panthers, an already fucking scumbag team, and I mean that as a compliment. Like an already fucking nasty
Bennett and all these fucking guys.
Yeah, Barkov and Reinhardt and all these guys who can score and Kachuk and all these guys who are they're all two-way studs. They all can score and pass and they all play great defense and hit. They're mean, nasty son of a bitch team, and they got maybe the meanest, nastiest son of a bitch in hockey, and it's Steel. It's kind of crazy. Like I know the Bruins didn't even make the playoffs this year. They're doing what they have to do to kind of maybe retool or rebuild.
They're the ball at the rim. They just got Obi Toppin coming in yamming it now.
Yeah,
they're at the rim, and they're just like, here you go, finish the shot, finish your fucking back-to-back.
And it's I'm just saying, if the Panthers don't look like they're going anywhere anytime soon. And I love their roster makeup. And like, I've talked with friends, and they're like, well, like as Ranger fans, they're like, well, Panarin scored more points than anyone on that team, and I'm like, well, Panarin isn't putting any fear into anyone on the other side of like he's not playing amazing defense.
Panarin and Mikal Bridges go to dinner together.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, give me fucking Barkov over Panarin. Give me Reinhardt over Panarin. Give me Bennett. Give me Tkachuk. Give me Marchand over Panarin. I'll pick 5 guys on the Panthers over the Rangers' debatably best player, like after Igor.
Or like that's like the Ovechkin types, those types that came from that elk is just like the bruiser that hits, that also scores and gets in the paint. It's just like, what people was for 1 minute or another.
It kind of stinks that like the Russia can't play in the Olympics, at least as of now, like going into this next Winter Olympics. Because like it would be like Ovechkin and Malkin's probably last Olympic games, and now the Russia are just so good right now. Got a ton of young guys, the Mishkovs of the world. I can't remember the other guy's name, but another like young kid dominate. Like Russia, it should be right up there with Canada and USA as that third wheel.
It always worked in the 80s, and I mean, you go back thinking about all that stuff, so it makes sense.
And now, obviously, I'm not saying like this isn't a political stance. I'm standing with Ukraine. You know what I mean? I fucking
talking about from a hockey perspective, it would be great.
Yeah. I just only care about the hockey. Like I stand with Ukraine, dude. Fucking, they're heroes. Those guys fucking fighting the good fight over there are heroes, dude. Fucking. Don't let the fucking.
At the end of the day, for any issue, anyway, it's whoever's the eye of the beholder. So if you're on the eye of the beholder, from this perspective, if you look at a map and this is what it used to look like when your grandfather was the ruler, and you're on this side of that, you're looking for sovereignty. It's like who's the eye of the beholder for anything, anyway. So.
No, it's fucking cut and dry. In the mid '90s, fucking Ukraine gave up their nukes. So. Exactly. Under the fucking pretenses that Russia wouldn't invade, and Russia was at the table on the deal and signed the fucking dotted line and then went back on that deal. So it's not in the eye of the beholder. It's in the eye of the fucking...
Hey, no. I'm not saying that's the rule of... That should be the rule of law or rule of the day. What I'm saying is that for anybody that's in a conflict from either side...
Yeah, of course. There's Russian people who are like...
for them is what I'm saying. I'm not going any further than that. Yeah.
But I'm just saying...
I agree with everything, by the way. What you just said was gospel. That's the fact.
Yeah.
Like, you like fact? If you like facts, we're fact-based podcast. That's a fact.
Yeah, that's a fact. Ukraine gave up their nukes.
For Russia being a hockey team that should be involved in our Olympics.
Yeah, but I still want to see Russia in the Olympics. I also don't like...
Exactly. We can compartmentalize. See, we understand.
Yeah. Like
it's not Barkov's fault and fucking whatever, or excuse me, Malkin's fault and fucking Ovechkin's fault. These guys
they don't have nothing to do with the politics. But moving on, and then on the West, it looks like Edmonton's kind of going to be the tougher team out there in the West, like going to give Florida the better fight. But I would love to see the Stars, somehow break through. That coach is a legend. He's been to the conference finals like 8 times and fucking can't break through. And he's won all of his game 7s, but obviously never won a cup. And I saw him like shaking everybody's hand after last time, and like we're all like, "Go fucking win it," And it's like he's a good dude. His name is escaping me now. And then Jamie Benn, a guy who I fucking used to play in NHL like 2004. Like Jamie Benn's been in the league.
That's it. Yeah.
Peter DeBoer. That's it. And then Jamie Benn is like one of the OG vets, he's never got a championship. I would love to see him get one,
Yeah.
But this Dallas team might just be a little...
Cool. You think the Stars would give a better show to the Panthers because it's a new look, maybe?
I don't know. I think the Panthers are kind of just going to smoke.
They're going to just spank
They're
anybody.
so good. I think this might be...
McDavid obviously is the best chance if you have the best player in the world in the series, so that would be the only way, I suppose.
Yeah, Draisaitl right up there.
It's just like hockey's not like that. McDavid could not be on the ice when they just destroy them for whatever the amount of line
Hockey
changes and
players play what 15 to 20 minutes a game.
Yeah,
you know,
it's not the same, dude. It's not the same.
And Draisaitl's amazing too. Draisaitl's an amazing player too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone forgets like Bobrovsky. He's older now, but he still is fucking one of the best goalies. He's still a Vezina winner, a Stanley Cup winner. You know,
we're talking about one game within these playoffs. Like it's just a microcosm, so the guy's gonna play well.
Yeah, no, he's a great goalie. So they have the basically the best two-way players in the world and the best goalie left in the playoffs, at least, if not. Yeah, I'm not going to sell him like he's the best goalie in the world. He's not that anymore, but he turns it on. He's a vet. You know, he knows when to deliver and when to step up. He doesn't rattle.
Yeah.
So this is a good hockey player. If we haven't talked about it enough on the podcast, apologies to the Hotz, the Sixers, the Dreamers. It's have been amazing playoff hockey. Besides maybe the Panthers just spanking in this fucking conference finals.
They're just loaded. And
the Hurricanes were kind of I don't want to say bad, like not like they were like kind of sneaky, like they're a good team, but they're like we're not going to match up. Like this series was bad.
Like you said, I don't think anybody was going to match up in the East with the Panthers once that trade went through with Marchand.
Well, the Panthers, they played a tough series. The last series, I think, might have went to 7 games.
I think maybe that's right. I didn't keep an eye on it that closely, but who was that against?
I want to say against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think the Maple Leafs played them tough. And the Maple Leafs, Maple Leafs fans have it rough.
Every year.
Yeah. They have it rough because I think they might have even been up 2-0.
Watching Drake lose money is hilarious. This guy's betting hundreds of thousands of dollars on the Maple Leafs.
I actually think the Leafs. I think the Leafs are up 2-0, and then the Panthers won the next 4. Actually, it was a 6-game series. But the Panthers are scary. And
16 series, and you were up the first 2. Nice.
Yeah, that happened with the Heat and the Mavericks that year.
That's right.
The championship.
The cough and everything. Yep.
Yeah. Panthers, Maple Leafs. I'm going to look it up real quick, but we can get ready to get into the Hotz corner. Cruising along, but shout out to the fucking Panthers, dude. Straight up. It was a 7-game series. The Leafs won Game 6 on the road. It's crazy. They're having the damn Indiana Pacers series. Like, the Maple Leafs.
This was the number 1 seed in the East.
Leafs can't win at home. That's what it is.
Did they finish as the number 1 seed in the East?
I'm not sure. I don't know, to be honest. I have no idea. The seeding is different in hockey. It's like divisionally. The playoff seeding isn't just 1 through 8 like it is in the NBA. It's different. I don't know. I can't tell you exactly the formula for it. It is goofy. Because that's why, like, the Kings. All right, hang on. Because the Kings played the same team in the playoffs the last, 4 years or something crazy.
What the fuck is this goofy shit I'm listening to? What are you talking about?
I'm telling you. I know for
I believe you. It just sounds ridiculous.
It's been Kings Oilers for the last 4 years in the first round. Yeah.
See you there.
NHL playoff formula.
Bracket? There is a bracket. Yeah.
There's a bracket, but it's not just one.
Oh, the standings. Playoffs. Here we go. What the hell is this shit?
Division winners face wild card teams, and other division teams play each other within their conference.
Ew. Who did Tampa play?
I'm not sure, but basically
they played Florida.
So it's not like the NBA, because in the NBA there could be 2 teams in the division that are the 1 and 2 seed. You know what I'm trying to say?
Florida played Tampa in the first round, 3-2, and Florida beat them 4-1 in the series. Yikes.
That's what I'm saying.
But why the fuck did these 2 teams play each other when Florida and Tampa are both 82 and 47? There's wildcard teams that are worse. Who does Ottawa and Montreal play?
It's that second thing. It's and other division teams play each other within their conference. So there must have been the 1 seed must have also been in that same division. Who's the 1?
Carolina. So they played each other in the same division as well, 1 versus 2. What the fuck is this garbage? Who did Ottawa play is my question. Toronto. They lost to Toronto. Where's Toronto? Toronto's the number 1 seed. They were the number 1 seed. Okay. So Toronto did play Ottawa in the first round. who was the number one wild card team, played Toronto, who's the number one seed overall, it would seem by record. 52 wins, 26 losses. They were the number one seed.
Well, the Capitals had more points than Toronto. The Capitals had 111 points in the regular season. So, and then the Hurricanes are in their division. They're the wild card.
The Montreal shittier wild card played the Capitals. That's why. Actually, you're right. Capitals were number one seed.
Yeah.
Number two seed is Toronto. Underneath all of this bullshit, like it's like basically not a seed. There's some seeding, but
yeah, there's only two division wins. There's only two teams that won the division in the whole league.
Lies play the wild cards, right?
The Capitals and the Maple Leafs won their division.
And that's why
the Lightning and the Panthers play each other because they're in the same division and they're both wild cards.
Bro.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. It's kind of cool, its own way. Not bad.
But I told you it's not just like 1 through 8 like the NBA.
Yeah, you were on it. I'm glad I didn't change the music so quick because that was something, and that was a whole thing. But it makes sense. Montreal playing the better number one seed technically based on record points, like you said, 111 points. Washington. That makes sense. Montreal was the shittier wild card, so they do have some kind of something to it. There is some wrinkle to it. That makes sense. Behind the scenes, I suppose.
We could get into the Hotz corner though, but I think the Panthers are just fucking force.
Yeah. No one's stopping them. Not even McJesus.
Yeah. Well, he's never stopped them before. He's never won.
Mountains and split the water again. Do all the thing, Do the thing. Do the thing.
All right. Most hateable athlete of all time.
Kyle Lowry.
All right. Would you rather fight a female 135-pound MMA fighter or a 150-pound pit bull?
135-pound female MMA fighter. Yeah, the MMA fighter.
Okay. If you were starting a team today and had the choice of any shortstop in baseball, who are you taking?
Today?
You want to pass for now?
Yeah, I'll pass that.
If you had to give up pasta or rice for the rest of your life, which one goes?
Rice.
Who is the most underrated NBA player in the game today?
A few guys. Most underrated? I'll go Nas Reed.
All right. Would you rather read the Bible start to finish or the dictionary?
The Bible.
If you could break one record in sports, what would it be?
Most Super Bowls won ever.
Would you rather give up air conditioning for the rest of your life or sneakers?
Air conditioning.
All right, and then trivia. There are 28 NFL players who have scored 100 touchdowns, not passing touchdowns.
Oh, I'll give you the shortstop, Corey Seager.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry. I forgot to go back to it.
You're good. We'll say Corey Seager.
Okay, that's a good solid one. All right, 100 touchdown scorers. There are 28 of them. I think you're able to give.
I'm sorry. Run it back.
100 touchdown scorers, not passing. They have to score the touchdown. Wide receivers, running backs, tight ends.
Got it.
100 touchdown scores. There's 28 of them. You should get 20.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Are you ready for names?
Yep.
LaDainian Tomlinson,
Correct.
Jerry Rice.
Correct.
Only skill position players. Okay. Tim Brown.
Correct.
Randy Moss.
Correct.
Terrell Owens.
Correct.
Marvin Harrison.
Correct.
This is a stretch maybe, but I'm just guessing that he got 10 per year times 10 is 100. So Barry.
Barry Sanders. Correct.
Sweetness. You on that list or no? I don't know. Touchdowns.
I got to double check that one. Yeah, correct.
That one. Chris Carter.
Correct.
Tony Gonzalez.
Correct.
Gronk. I don't know. That might not be
No,
right.
no Gronk.
Yeah. Tony might be the only tight end that has that. Maybe. Oh, Travis. Maybe. Travis Kelce.
No Travis Kelce.
Okay. Interesting. So he is the only tight end. Wow. Maybe Gates is there, but I don't want to waste another guess on that fringe one. I gotta keep going here. Emmitt Smith.
Correct.
Let's just say Cowboy Land for a second. Let's see if it's right. Michael Irvin.
No.
Not enough.
No. For the record, Gronkowski had 93. Just so that helps.
Okay. All right. I got a lot more guys. Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald. Hang on a sec. Yep.
Is it correct? Yeah.
Yes, correct. You have
Yeah.
12 right now.
Okay. Priest Holmes.
No.
Eric Dickerson.
Eric Dickerson had 96. He's 29th on the list. He's the first one. He's the first one after the 100 TD score.
I'll say the Rams world. Marshall Faulk.
Correct.
Okay, should have probably led with him. Sorry, Marshall. Curtis Martin.
Correct. Exactly 100.
Wow.
You're at 14.
That's Curtis. That's cool. Let's see. I feel like we need more receivers here. Let's see here. Let's look at you guys. I have names, but Calvin Johnson.
I don't think so. Let me double check.
I don't think enough seasons, right?
Nah, he's not on there.
Yeah. Reggie Wayne.
I don't think so. I'll double check. No.
Torrey Holt.
Getting colder.
Colder, really.
Yeah.
Running backs that have 100 touchdowns. Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, correct. You're at 15.
Yeah, okay, I like 5 misses though. But keep going here. I'll say Gates. Fuck it, made the Hall of Fame.
16.
Oh,
He had 100. He had 116 touchdowns. He's the most touchdowns of all time by a tight end.
wow, shouts to Antonio motherfucking Gates, dude.
Yeah, you're 4 away.
Running back Jamal Lewis.
Jamal Lewis, not on the list. And for the record, you said Priest Holmes for he has 94, just to keep you in the ballpark.
All good. Thinking I have
Double
some
check Jamal Lewis, but he's not on here now.
No, yeah, I think it's too many, not enough years. I was deciding between him and Sean Alexander to guess, but I went with Jamal Lewis, but I don't think Sean has it either. So I'm going to keep going here. It's a cool quiz. Touchdowns. No. Julio's a yards guy. Man, Anquan Bolden.
Nah.
Touchdowns. Joey Rice. I think of some obvious that I'm maybe missing.
All right. I'll let you guess one more before I start giving hints.
Okay. Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams. Correct. 17. 100. Devontae Adams has 103 for the record.
Yeah, I kind of remember them celebrating it when he caught it, like last year, just briefly, just now. That's the only reason I. Yeah, I'm definitely running thin on options, but I'm still gonna think for a second. Fuck it, I'll say it. Sean Alexander.
Correct.
Let's go.
112.
I just stuck with my god. I'm such an asshole.
2 more.
I have weird names. I'll be clear, but I don't think long enough stints. I have weird names.
Well, like I said, you can get one more wrong guess before I help. So.
Okay. I don't want to waste it though. Stupid. Steve Smith.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
All right, yeah. All right, I'll start going. I'll go in order. This guy is 6th all-time, 145 touchdowns. He went to USC and then played for the Raiders and the Chiefs.
The Raiders and the Chiefs.
Running back. Had a famous run in the Super Bowl against the Redskins.
Fuck. I just had it. Oh my god.
No handsome guy. Light-skinned black dude.
I just had it, and it just slipped my brain.
Heisman Trophy winner.
I'm not gonna say it. You got it.
The years were 82 to 97. I'll give a hint to the next one on the list instead. This guy is tied for Jim Brown. Running back, played at Oklahoma in college.
Adrian Peterson.
Correct.
Fuck.
That's 19. The next one on the list you don't have. He's tied with Gates, 116 home runs. White running back. Played for the Redskins primarily. Also the Jets when he was young.
White running back that played for the Redskins?
Had a 25 touchdown season.
What? Was that
1971 to 85.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No idea.
Very Hall of Fame. All right, I'll keep moving then.
I probably know the name if I heard it, like an Otis Anderson, or Otis Smith, or Otis Simpson, or something crazy.
This guy, none of those names. This guy was a Colt, played a long time ago, like Johnny Unitas days, 56, 67.
Steve Largent?
Steve Largent is correct, but not that guy at all. Like, not even close. 76 to 89 Seahawks.
Oh, yeah, I know he's on the Seahawks. I just remember that.
I said the Colts.
Oh, I thought you said Seahawks. Oh.
No, I played for the Colts, Johnny Unitas days, 1950.
Oh. I don't know what I heard, but I heard Seahawks. So I just...
Well, Steve Largent's right, 101 touchdowns.
Let's go. Put it on the board, kids.
All right, you didn't get Marcus Allen is 6.
That's fucking crazy. That's the Raider. Please.
Yeah, that's the Raider.
Sorry, Marcus Allen.
Marcus Allen, and then Peterson, you got to John Riggins is the running back, white running back.
Cool name. I've seen the name, but never would have got that. No way.
Yeah, he's a
play Washington guy? White boy?
Yeah, Washington and the Jets, too. Lenny Moore is the Colts. He was like a running back. He was like a slot back. That was a long time ago. That's one of the ones I said I wouldn't have gotten. For sure. Sean Alexander, you got Tony Gonzalez. You got Derek Henry. You didn't get.
Damn.
Just,
I feel like there were more current players. I was trying to think of legends that were still playing.
Derek Henry and Mike Evans were the two current players.
Big Mike. That's the big Mike. Fuck. I have Derek on my dynasty team too.
Derek Henry, Barry Anders, Mike Evans, Tim Brown. You got Devontae Adams. Don Hudson was like the first breakout wide receiver. That was a tough one, but he had like 20 touchdowns and like second place was like sixth. You know,
wow.
He played 10 years from 1935 to 1945.
This guy was just getting so much puss, dude. Probably killing it.
Basically, the father of like the vertical passing receiver.
Oh my god, this guy was probably a legend, going deep and getting shit. Oh my god.
Yeah. And then Steve Largent, you pulled Frank Gore.
Wow.
And
Hall of Fame borderline, I would say. Borderline Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer should be.
Definite Hall of Famer, no question. Frank Gore, and then Franco Harris is the other one.
Ooh, Steeler.
Franco Harris, Frank Gore, and Curtis Martin are all tied with 100 exactly.
Not bad.
Yeah, and then I got, if you want to.
What do you got? That was pretty quick. We did that one in 14 minutes. That was pretty good.
Yeah, passing touchdowns, I believe. Let me just double check the number on this, but I believe it's 250 or more. Yeah, 250 or more. There's 27 quarterbacks. So same thing. Give me 20 of them. 250 passing touchdowns.
All right, let's get some quick guys out of the way. All right, Brady, Peyton, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Brady's first, Brees is second, Peyton's third, Aaron Rodgers is fifth. You got 4 so far.
Okay. 250 passing touchdowns. Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, correct.
I'm gonna go Eli. I don't know if that's right, but I think it's right.
Of course, sixth. Not 6 all time. That's your 6th one you got right.
Yeah. There's no way he'd be 6 all time. Phillip Rivers.
Yep, he's 6th all time.
Yeah. Big Ben. Big Ben, maybe. Oh yeah. Oh, that's funny. Wow, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's
so yeah, Big Ben is correct.
Okay. Matt Ryan.
Correct.
Pat Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes is 245, so he's not there yet.
Okay, that's funny. I thought that 50 touchdown season would be enough to like throw him up there immediately. 250. Let's see. Joe Montana.
Let me double check.
No, right?
Yes, he's there. He's 20.
All right, cool. That's crazy. Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner. I'm just double checking because that sounds right, but I don't think he's here.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he started late too, and then kind of had a little movement. Yeah, he's not on here.
He's not there?
No.
Wow. Okay. 50 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, you have 10 right now. Halfway home. You have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 11, 12, and 20.
250 passing touchdowns. Probably some random names in there. Carson Palmer.
I don't think so. I'm gonna double check. Oh no, there he is. Yeah, he is in there. Sorry, that's 11. My apologies. He's 15th. But that's the zone. That's the name zone that you want to be in.
I figured as much. That's a tough zone. That's a tough world to be in. So, a million guys.
I'm just.
No, I know exactly what you're getting at. Yeah,
not all of them are there, but I'm just saying.
Football guys talking right now. I know exactly your language. Yeah, I got you. You're good.
Not all of them are going to be there, but like that's a good
I got a name. Vinny Testaverde.
Correct.
There we go.
That's 12.
That's unbelievable. I cannot believe I just pulled that stupid ass name and it was one. It's so stupid. I got another name.
He played 20 years. You know.
I know that's what I was. That's where I went there with him. It was just like longevity versus like, and he probably got 20 touchdowns a year. I had a figure. I got another name. I got two actually. Mark Bulger.
I like the name, but I don't think he's on here. No, not quite.
And then the other name I had was Trent Green.
Slightly above those guys, I would say, in terms of being good.
Yeah, and the longevity needed. Yeah. Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco, 13. I think Bulger, Green, and Mahomes are your only misses so far, so I'll give you a couple more.
Yeah, Mahomes is crazy. 5 away. That's awesome.
I'll give you 2 more.
That's crazy.
You're missing like a big one.
Steve Young.
I think he played in a different era and didn't start right away. I don't see him on here. I'll give you one more wrong before I start throwing hints out there. You got 13.
Troy Aikman.
No, Aikman's not going to be there. He didn't throw a lot of touchdowns.
I was just thinking longevity with him too.
Well, he had the concussions. He didn't play too long.
Right.
All right. This guy.
I have another name.
Okay.
Culpepper is the other name.
No. I mean, you got a lot of.
I thought of McNabb also. Those are the 4 guys I thought of.
No, I would say more Hall of Fame and also more modern. Like.
Really?
Think of like
Hall of Fame more modern.
Yeah, like you're going a little bit too fringe. You're getting a little too cute with it, I'd say. Like, just think of the best quarterbacks to ever play football.
Okay. Interesting.
MVPs, like.
Yeah.
And then more modern.
Passing touchdowns. Okay.
All right. The next guy is 4th all time.
Yeah.
A very polarizing guy. Had some scandals off the field. Sent dick pics. So I don't want to make it too obvious the hint either, because you'll get like.
Yeah, I know that's a weird clue.
Had a beef with Mark Gastineau over something he let happen.
That's a little.
To help his friend get a record.
Oh, Brett Favre. God damn it.
Brett Favre, 4th all time. He did it twice. He has 508 touchdowns.
Fuck, that's such an obvious one. Yeah, that's a bad miss. Damn.
All right. The other one was had a cameo in a movie with Jim Carrey.
Oh, Dan fucking Marino. I literally can't.
Dan Marino is 7th. You got 8 and 9. Number 10 is a current player, former number 1 overall pick, Super Bowl champion. Went to college at Georgia. Again, I'm not trying to give too obvious clues.
College at Georgia?
Yeah.
I said Matt Ryan. Who the fuck else are we talking about?
Matt Ryan went to Boston College.
Matt Ryan went to Boston College. Georgia.
If I would have to say a friend of ours that he looks the most like, I would say Luke Haggerty. That doesn't help. Played on a bad team for a long time and then went to a new team and won a Super Bowl.
Stafford, damn.
Yeah, Matt Stafford.
That's a good clue, Luke. That's decent. Okay.
377. You got 11. You got 12. This guy held the passing yards, touchdowns, everything for a long time. Played for the Giants and the Vikings from 61 to 78. He was one of the first, big passing quarterbacks. Big scrambler. Vikings. Purple
Randall
people.
Coop?
What?
No,
No, earlier, 61 to 78.
Vikings.
Basically had all the passing records when he retired.
I don't know.
Trying to think of a good clue. All right.
Just give it.
Fran Tarkenton.
Brian Tarkenton. Yeah. Classic Giant. Yeah, he's retired.
Yeah.
I always forget his name for some reason. I don't know
Hall of
why.
Fame, MVP, all that stuff.
Legend. Yeah. Legend.
This next guy won 2 Super Bowls in the late 90s after like a long career of never being able to win the big one. Famously got drafted and said, "Nah, I'm not going there." Was one of the first to do that. Got drafted by the Yankees in baseball. Won 2 Super Bowls in back-to-back late in the 90s. Quarterback. Got helicoptered around in one of them, a famous image running for it. Was a dual threat quarterback. Went to Stanford. He's currently a GM for the team that he won the Super Bowls with.
I don't know why this is slipping me.
This might be worse than Favre.
Yeah, definitely. I just listening to it, it's worse than Favre. It's giving me a headache.
Two champions ended his career on back-to-back Super Bowl championships. Teammates with Ed McCaffrey, another Stanford guy.
Oh wow, John Elway. Wow.
Yeah. Carson Palmer, you got.
Carson Palmer. I can't get John Elway and Brett Favre. This is me. My name is Zach. Nice to meet you.
Black quarterback, played for the Oilers. Came over from Canadian football. No, but that was a good guess. Black quarterback who played for the Oilers, not the Titans, the Oilers.
Oilers.
The Houston Oilers.
Yeah, I remember even the insignia on their helmet.
Remember, like the Bills had that great playoff in the comeback?
Yeah.
It was the quarterback on the other side of that comeback.
Oh, man. I'm going to know the name.
Yeah, you're definitely going to know the name. I mean,
is Jim Kelly on this list? Side note, because you mentioned Bills. Question.
No, Jim Kelly's not. A little early for this.
And Bledsoe's not there either, right?
Drew Bledsoe is 251. He is on it. He's 27. Wow. 27. Wow.
Just names I'm thinking about as we're just talking here.
Yeah. You're missing. All right. Black quarterback.
Nah, nothing.
Nothing. Went to Grambling.
I got nothing there. I got nothing. No Steve McNair on that.
No, I'm sorry. He didn't go to Grambling. He went to Washington. I think he might have transferred from Grambling. He went to Washington.
It does not matter. It does not matter.
Warren Moon.
Warren Moon. Wow, that's a lot of passing touchdowns for an older quarterback like that.
Hall of Fame. Well, he was like one of the first prolific passers. You know,
I assume, yeah,
ahead of his time.
Wow, what a legend.
This guy was on the Colts. He played with Lenny Moore. You know, I said his name earlier when we were talking about 100 touchdown scorer. So like he played in this era of the Colts.
Johnny United.
Yes. Current player.
Wow, another guy. Johnny United is getting 250 passing touchdowns back then. Guy's slinging that.
290.
Smoking cigs at halftime. Crazy.
Current player went to Michigan State in college.
Kirk Cousins is on this list.
Correct. Yes, 288.
Jesus Christ.
Vinny Testaverde, you got Joe Montana. You got. I'll give you clues. I don't think you're going to get this guy. He's sneaky, very good quarterback of his time. Played for the Seahawks through a lot of those Steve Largent touchdowns. Tough, like multiple time Pro Bowler in the 80s, early 90s, but very good passer, kind of in the Warren Moon, one of the early big time passing, guys having those like 25 to 30.
Highlights of Steve Largent. I just can't put my finger on that quarterback.
Not Jim Zorn, but the other
Yeah.
Each first name is one syllable and kind of a weird last name. The first name also ends in VE, but it's not Steve. It's the other big VE first name. It's shortened from a biblical first name. It's Dave Craig. That's a hard one.
Dave Craig. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's football.
Another modern player who's tied with Joe Flacco. I think he just retired, actually. That should be a pretty big hint. His older brother was drafted first overall. His older brother eventually became a Giants backup. His older brother was the first ever draft pick of the Houston Texans.
I was thinking it. Matt Schaub. That's
No. His older brother is not Matt Schaub. It's the first ever draft pick.
Oh, Derek Carr. Wow.
Yes. Derek Carr. He's tied with Joe Flacco. Then you have a guy, he's famous Redskins quarterback, long time ago. 1957 to 74.
No.
A tough one. Tony Jurgensen.
Cool.
And then you got a guy, long-time announcer, played for the Chargers with Kellen Winslow in that Air Coryell offense.
Yeah.
To air it out. He was probably one of the first to throw like 40 touchdowns in a season. Big time.
Yeah. No, I think I know this name. Chargers I always had affinity for them, so I just
Hall of Fame player.
Damn, I might be able to get this. I feel like I'm gonna know the name too. I don't know.
You'll certainly know the name. You've probably watched football games that he's called.
Just fuck me up there. Fuck.
Yeah, Kellen.
Drew Brees. Who's the other Chargers quarterback that's like legendary there? There's another one.
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's got a big beard. You've seen him call games. Maybe not super big, but big for like a quarterback. You've seen him call 100 games at least in your life as a football fan. As an announcer.
I don't have it.
Dan Fouts.
Damn.
And then the last one is a current player. Has been a backup the last couple of years, but had a good run in the AFC North for a while. He's been a backup for the Cowboys, the Panthers.
Andy Dalton.
Yes, correct. Andy Dalton is 26 with 253. Some names right outside: Tony Romo, 248, Boomer Esiason, 247. But yeah, next up will be Patrick Mahomes. Then Jared Goff is at 222.
Josh Allen,
213. Josh Allen, 195. Baker Mayfield, 171. So current player is definitely going to get there.
Baker will have more than Josh when it's all said and done. Passing touchdowns.
Maybe. We'll see. He's a little older. Not much.
Older, but he likes to sling it a little bit more. I think it's hot. Not that hot of a take. Maybe it might be.
No, I don't think so. Joe Burrow.
That plays like Carson Palmer until he's 45, just slinging that pill.
Yeah. That was a good one. We'll go back to the questions, and we'll shut it down. Most hateable athlete of all time, Kyle Lowry. I don't like Dylan Brooks. Not a fan.
Yeah. It's funny when you think of hateable athlete, you really go to basketball first because football, there's so much mutual respect on the field.
There's like helmets, I think we need
these guys are warriors. Like, I'm going to hate Brian Dawkins so much to mention him in that equation right there. Yeah. It's like, I'm going to mention this flopping pussy that tries to work the game and the refs and not play basketball because it's a little homo.
I don't like Cortland Finnegan, if I had to say a football player.
If I say a football player that I don't like. I
feel like it's got to be like a receiver or a corner.
I don't like Deshaun Watson.
I don't like Eli Apple. Well, I don't like Deshaun Watson because they're off the field, Like, I don't like Greg Hardy, you know what I mean? Like, I don't like abusive, I don't.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, I don't know. Like, if I were to be like, I don't like Jaden Daniels. What's not to like?
Nah. But I mean, like, the term
because he plays for the Commanders. Yeah.
I asked the question more about how they are.
I know what you meant. That's why I said Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, right.
I would say one other guy that maybe I would mention, like athlete all time, like Pedro Martinez.
I always like Pedro, but I get it. This is a tough one. Would you rather fight a female 135-pound MMA fighter or a 150-pound pit bull?
I feel like with the female, there's just more leverage points for me to be able to get out of it, and they like a dog is just like that's a big.
I don't know. I think either one, if I catch them with a clean shot, they're in trouble. You know, but if a dog, if a pit bull latches,
150 pounds. A dog.
100. I said 150. The largest one ever was like 170 or 180. It said so. I want 150. It's like a massive pit bull. But if you caught it, like you got to think it's all lean muscle.
It's a human being.
Yeah, if you punch a fucking pit bull as hard as you can in the face, they'll probably like, you know, you'll probably alpha them.
I don't know.
You can knock out a woman, but then again, she's going to be a lot harder to hit than the pit bull. Like speed, you know, strategy. But then again, you have to deal with like the human being, you know, empathy and sympathy of a person. If they do get good, yeah, like a pit bull could just grab your throat and kill you. So it's tough. I guess in terms of facing.
You said MMA, so they know to at least go for the tap out. The dog, there's no tap out, so I'm going with the MMA fighter.
Yeah, you're not going to die against the 130, but I think you're more likely to win against a pit bull. Like I think the woman will beat you 100 times out of 100.
I don't even know.
I think if you fucking
a
pit bull, you can get a pit bull to submit. Like there are 150-pound pit bulls who get trained, and you know what I mean. Like there's like. I guess if you're saying like it's hungry and hasn't eaten, but then again, it wouldn't be 150 pounds if it hadn't eaten, you know. So there's a lot of that goes into.
Maybe it's not eating that day.
Yeah, for a week or whatever. You went with Seager for shortstop. I think he's a great player. I love Corey Seager. Helped me win a fantasy championship, but I think I would probably go Bobby Witt and then maybe Lindor.
I thought Lindor, Bobby Witt. I like him. Yeah, he's great. I don't know. Not proven yet enough for me to take him in the like a postseason guy that's hit big.
I mean, if Judge didn't do what he did last year, he's MVP. You know, like he was definitely the second best player.
What do you say to me all the time with the if thing? That if I was your grandmother, I would.
Well, I'm saying if we're only talking about shortstops, like he's the closest.
Yeah, he definitely was an MVP last year. He was the borderline triple crown right next. Like, let's just say Judge.
Yeah, and then Lindor would win, and Lindor would win MVP if it wasn't for Shohei.
Yeah, exactly.
Seager was awesome the year before. He's injured a lot more. That's my only probably thing with him. If you had to give up pasta or rice for the rest of your life, which one goes? I probably would agree pasta. Like up until the last couple of years, I've become more of a rice guy.
I love rice, chicken fried rice. I'm about to have rice right after we're done potting here. I'm gonna have some food.
Me too. I had some before too. I like meal prep and fucking.
Rice is great, bro. It would be tough to give it up. I'm not even saying like that's not tough, but pasta for me is just like, man, I cannot imagine eating pasta. Like you got to be kidding. No way.
Nah, but I eat a lot less pasta than I eat rice. But if I'm like indulging, pasta's better. Like
and I just feel like there's more supplements for rice in a sense than the idea of replacing pasta.
What are you a cauliflower ass rice motherfucker?
Yeah, if it had to be,
gross.
Whatever it has to be. I wouldn't probably go down that road. Maybe I'd probably just use different types of pasta.
You a quinoa ass motherfucker?
Yeah, you talking now? Yeah. Maybe some.
I guess the one thing that pasta has over rice. And then again, there's Spanish rice. There's different kinds of rice, but the diversity of noodle.
Yeah.
There's so many different. Like you're giving up
so many different types of pasta.
Everything from fucking angel hair to gnocchi. Like
Tagliata, whatever, Tagliati, whatever that is. The skinny, the squirrely ones. Like
tagliatelle.
Tagliatelle, like that's amazing. Yeah. Fucking penne, fucking
you have some that are stuffed with cheese, like ravioli.
Rigatoni, bro. Rigatoni. What are we talking about?
But I guess in this case, like if we're saying all that, then if you give up rice, you got to give up like risotto too. You can't like.
I don't like risotto. I don't like the texture. It's too.
You don't like risotto? Oh, I love risotto. That's like rice and cheese.
Risotto too. Yeah, in Puerto Rico they have incredible risotto. Apparently, I tried it a couple times. It's not bad. I just don't like the texture, like the way that eats.
It's also a lot of good like rice balls, like arancini. You know what I mean?
Arancini's amazing.
Yeah.
And sushi's probably a rap sheet if you don't have rice.
Yeah,
so I'm not a sushi guy. So for people that are sushi,
I'm not a sushi guy either, but I just eat way more rice. But then again, like I said, if I'm like going out to eat, like and there's like a pasta option, like you pasta
sitting there or chicken fried rice is sitting there.
I'll put it like this: pasta could be the star of a dish. Rice is never the star. Yeah.
Great way to put it. Yep. Right, and pasta also has flexibility to not be the star as well, to be a little side.
Yeah, no. It doesn't have to be the star, but it can be. And Rice really can't be,
Rice is not a main dish. Unless you're slumming.
Yeah. Who is the most underrated NBA player in the game today? You had Naz Reid. He got his sixth man of the year, but I guess, if you're saying he deserves to be an all-star and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's a starter. I think he could give you Siakam production if he was a starter.
I like OG Anunoby, dude. I think when you look at the two-way potential, I think he's severely underrated.
He's getting to the point now. I'll say he's underrated from the perspective that he wasn't on an all-defensive team. That's absolutely disgusting, egregious, the dumbest thing I've ever seen and read and felt in my life. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, if you look at his box scores in terms of his production, he's shooting 40% from the field and 28% from three for the playoffs. It's
but again, it's they're not running, but they're not running plays for him either. Everything he gets is he gets on his own.
Yes, yeah. Even when he gets the ball, his bag is very limitless. Sometimes he dribbles himself into a turnover. It seems to happen every game a couple times. He just is so robotic that the dribble. You know what I'm talking about. And he's an incredible player. Obviously, I'm not blind, and you can't face him one-on-one when he's on defense on you, and he'll punch your shit.
And again, I think just in terms of being underrated,
as an overall athlete, as an overall respect, the idea that Neesmith went at him type of thing, and that's how underrated he is. That a guy would have the audacity to try him right there. I like what your head's at for sure in terms of the underrated.
When he's really young, he contributed on the championship team. Yeah. Obviously not massive, but he was
huge on that team. If you watch those games, back, he's guarding the best player.
He played 20 minutes a game. He
was guarding the best guy. He was the Lou Dort on that team, bro.
Yeah, he was and obviously he's only made one all defense. We just talked about, he should be all defense. Basically. He should be at least third team all defense every single year, in my opinion. And then I think, like I said, this year he's kind of getting a little more high. He got up to 18.
The contract year.
Yeah, contract. But like I said, I'm more an underrated, not underpaid, underrated in terms of where he's respected in the league. I do think OG. It's someone who's made the Knicks way better. From that trade, when they first made that trade, everyone's like, we're giving up Barrett, we're giving up IQ, you know what I mean? And it's I think another guy made the Knicks way better.
Yeah, another guy I was thinking about that didn't make any all NBA teams, which is wild to me, is St. Louis on Houston. He's very underrated. It feels
I like that pick. That's a good take. I like that.
They were the number 2 seed in the West this year. They kind of flamed out, but they're a young team, and we'll see what they're made of next year when they kind of re-up and maybe get some more veterans onto that
team. Tough matchup to go up against Golden State with Jimmy and Curry was still healthy. Golden State after the Jimmy trade was definitely way better than the 7th.
Yeah, that's why I didn't have a problem with Steph getting the All-NBA nod, but even though I still thought, what's his name? Kate Cunningham should have been on the All-NBA second team, and Steph should have been third. That should have been switched. I saw that. I do like Donovan Mitchell being on the first team and Jalen on the second. Even as a Knicks fan, they finished as a number 1 seed, and there was about 2-point difference in their points per game. And Jalen got his clutch player of the year, so he got his shout. I think that there was no really individial award to be given to Donovan, so I think that's how you give it. By giving him the All NBA first team, they were the number 1 seed. That was earned.
Those are kind of interchangeable. I don't think Jalen Brunson's underrated at this point. I think
he's just rated. I think he's just properly rated. Yeah. But LeBron being on that All NBA team is a travesty. He was plus or minus. It was a disgusting thing that was going viral apparently. But in general, their team flamed out in the first round. There was just no impact. I don't know how he makes an All-NBA team, let alone I think it was
hard to win with Reeves and Luka defensively against a good team.
No, but it's just a force. He should be on the third team, if anything. Didn't do anything.
Well, we'll see what happens next year. They're probably going to move on from Reeves and try to build around Luka, LeBron. It depends if LeBron's willing to take less money, but that's a whole different argument for a different day.
That's a whole different. It's a whole different Aaron Rodgers part 2.
Whole different podcast. Would you rather read the Bible start to finish or the dictionary?
Yeah, this was based on just being interesting, reading something.
Yeah, there's good stories. There's entertaining
good stories. Reading the dictionary would get boring in about 30 seconds.
But Psalms and Proverbs and shit will get.
Yeah, even if you're reading and you think it's fiction, Still interesting. However you want to say.
Yeah, there's like Daniel going into the Lions Den and shit like that. There's like cool stories. Yeah, I agree with you. If you could break one record in sports, what would you choose? You want most Super Bowl wins. The inspiration of this question, I thought golf would be cool to like break Jack's major record. And then I was also thinking with Scotty, obviously our boy, shout out Scotty winning the PGA. Got his, second tournament that he's taken down out of the Grand Slams. Obviously won multiple Masters. Mm-hmm. But he also has the gold medal too. So he'd be the first person to win all four Masters or all four majors. Medal. Yeah, all four majors and a gold medal.
Grand Slam gold medal. Yeah, that'd be wild.
Golden Slam.
Golden Slam. Yeah, Scotty's going to get there probably.
Smiley Kaufman said, I heard him say that. Someone might have said it before him, but I didn't make it up.
If I was a betting man, I would say he would probably get there, but that Open Championship has always given him problems to the way he plays and the way that course is designed. It depends. I think he'll get Royal Troon maybe one day. I don't know the other course. The old course is always giving him problems. Maybe I'm jinxing him right now. He's just going to go out in the old course one day and just stick it. Yeah,
but he's still
ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
And he's 28. He's only 28. He looks a lot older, and he's like
so versatile, bro. I don't know if you watch Grant Horvat's podcast on YouTube. It's like this.
I don't like Grant Horvat, but
he's mad annoying. Yeah, I agree. I don't watch him consistently either. But Scotty was on. Scotty was on though, and like you listen to Scotty talk and just the way he is, and Scotty doesn't like him either. You could even see when you watch them play together, you can tell Scotty doesn't like him. But listening to Scotty and how he is, and just the way he is, and the way he thinks the game, and he's a fucking
I heard him on like Part of My Take a year ago talk about how he watches like Barstool Sports Advisors with Stu Feiner, like that clown, and then like goes to church, and then like plays golf, like he's just like cool dude.
He's just a regular dude that plays golf and happens to be number one in the world.
All those Alabama golf guys, I like those guys. I mean, Smiley Kaufman, shout out to him, dude. He was on tour for a while, and now he's just like in the media world side of it. He's awesome.
It's a good pivot.
He's awesome. I like Smiley Kaufman a lot.
Great pivot. I know. Yeah, he's great. A couple of these guys that do that realize their career maxed out at a certain point, but they're just still elite golfers, but they want to do the side. It's such a smart pivot because you'll never have more eyes on you at that point.
Yeah, my boy Max Homa's definitely on that.
He's right there. Yeah. I think he's still elite though.
I think he's gonna win a major. Like he's gonna get one day.
Or stick around and like be in it on Sunday. Like he's done it.
Well, he finished third in the Masters last year.
He has the game. Yeah, he's one of those guys that has the game. He's obviously one of those guys that's like Joel Damon type of guy. That's just like the personality's so big. You got to be locked. Everything's got to be locked in that moment. It's got to be like Neesmith, like you're zoned out. For that.
No, he's gonna have to go on a run. But I think Max Homa. I'm not saying you should do it tomorrow, but whenever he chooses to, he'll be successful in media. Whether that's YouTube, his own channel, or joining NBC fucking golf coverage or whatever. He's got the personality for it. Sure. But back to Scotty. I mean, the fact he's only 28 years old. I mean, I know he only has. I think he's won the Masters twice. And obviously the PGA, I know that's not like a crazy amount because obviously Jack has 17 majors, if I'm not mistaken.
It is 18.
Okay, 17 or 18. Because I think Tiger has 15.
Yeah, I think it's right.
Yeah, so I think I want to say 17.
Right now, look it up right now.
Yeah, you can fact check me. I want to say 17. It might be 18. Maybe I'm wrong.
Let's see.
Jack Nicklaus major championships.
Yeah, Jack has 18, Tiger has 15, and then Hagen has 11, Ben Hogan and Gary Player have 9 each.
Yeah. So he's still way off, but then again, I feel like he could go on a run where he wins like 2 or 3 in a year. Like he's got
crazy.
Yeah, 18 is insane. But it's crazy that people like basically looked at Tiger as a lock to catch him, and then like Father Time catches up.
Wins. He was wins to get to Snead. That was really, got to that point. Let me see that all time. Wins all time. Go. Yeah, Tiger
is like 116 or something.
So Tiger has 82 wins. Snead has 82 wins. They're tied. All-time PGA Tour wins. He got to the tie.
Yeah, Sam Snead was still playing when he was like 99 years old or something crazy. But Yeah, no, I think Scotty. I think Jack is probably too far away still, but I think he could maybe get that golden slam. That's a record that has
The golden slam is possible for sure, likely just in terms of the field. There's only really 3 or 4 elite golfers right now, I would say, on tour on a given week.
I don't know. I feel like the tour is so good. Maybe
this is my new consensus. It's like there's guys up here, John, that are like there's like 4 or 5 names that are like or 6 names that are possible to be those guys within a tournament, and there's usually only 3 of them within that tournament, and then there's just a bunch of random other guys a lot of times. So like,
but I just think that random list is a lot deeper than it was when like
Tiger I agree. Any one of those guys, like we talked about, Aberg or whatever, or
Homa or
Hovland.
Like Hovland is going to get one.
Yes,
one of these
the lower tier guys are way higher in skill than they used to be. No question.
But I get what you're saying too, where it's basically just like Scotty,
Scotty, Rom,
DeChambeau, and Chopley.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Chopley. Like those are like the guys that are right up there. Like
And then every now and then, like a Patrick Cantley will play amazing, and Xander will play like shit. So it's like they're replacing each other, and it's like.
Yeah. Well,
but generally speaking, of that list, of that 6 people, Scotty, Rory, Xander, who did you say? Bryson,
DeChambeau,
Rom. Yeah, it's just those guys, and then it's like.
Then it goes like down to the next year, where it's like Morikawa and Spieth,
Tony Finau.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know who I always thought was going to just blow up who never did? Ricky Fowler. I always thought he was like
everyone thought
on the verge, He's
got all the talent. He would be a driver off deck kind of guy. He had so much personality. He won a lot early as well. I think he did get a major. If that sounds right.
I don't think he did. I don't know if he won a major, dude. Maybe
he had some big tournament wins for sure.
I think so. But
what's his name? What are we talking about?
Ricky Fowler has no major championship victories.
Biggest wins. Let's see. He has some big wins though. He won the Players. That's what it was. There we go.
He won the Wells Fargo.
Yeah, the Players Championship. It's huge. It's probably the biggest tournament that's not a major. I would say that. Yeah, absolutely. The Players Championship.
Yeah, he's got 6 wins on tour, but no majors.
But, and the Ryder Cup. Fowler's been a part of the successful Ryder Cup and President's Cups teams for golds.
Yeah, I'm excited for those. Are always fun.
Those are great.
Yeah. Let's see what else they got here. And then
are the 2 best times in golf.
And then the last one, would you rather give up air conditioning for the rest of your life or sneakers? I mean, I guess you could live somewhere cold. But other than that, dude, I wouldn't fucking give up sneakers, wear boat shoes or fucking flip-flops or dress shoes or...
No.
Air conditioning, I don't think I could live with it.
How am I playing?
Fucking... I could play with no damn shoes, dude. You could still do it. How do you sleep in the heat with no AC?
I agree with you. That's for 2 months of the year in New York. I'm living in New York, in Buffalo.
2 months you're still probably looking at 4.
You get a fan going, dude. You ever lived on an island?
June, July, August, half of September, half of May.
When I lived in Puerto Rico, the power would go out every other fucking week, and I'd be living off a fan.
I wouldn't sleep. I guess if you put on every fan.
Yeah, no, it's the worst. It is the worst. Yeah. It is the worst to fall asleep when it's hot.
Air conditioning is debatably like one of the top 3 or 4 things that begin with the letter A.
Yeah.
That begin with the letter A in the world. It's like right up there with like ass.
And air.
And appetizers.
Just air itself. It starts with the
most air. Yeah, I'd rather have air conditioning than air.
All right. Well, on that note, it's been an excellent episode. Row 26, another week. Lock in on Tuesday for the Knicks. We need it. Game 4.
Yeah. Bring all the good vibes. Bring all the good vibes. I hate the 2 days off for
That's it. That's it. And we'll see what happens in Game 4 in about an hour between Minnesota and OKC. Enjoy your Memorial Day weekend, chumps. Sixers, Hotz. Be out of here.
Peace.
Peace.